I never do this, but thank you for clicking on this video, because if I do like a MGTOW video or AIU video, it's guaranteed to, clear 100 views and, continue to press the channel forward. But when it comes to this stuff, yeah, 15 views and it'll probably sit on the channel for forever and a day, as with all my more important stuff. So if you're one of the 15 people that came through and actually clicked this, thank you. I appreciate you, because this is why the channel exists. It's for the important stories, not the nonsense stories, but the nonsense story drives the views, man. It's such a paradox to be in. Anywho's, this is coming to us from Fox News. McConnell says Senate not interested in sending money to states trying to take advantage of coronavirus. And for the first time in my life, I am in full agreement with Mitch McConnell. I really am, because the situation on the ground during this dilemma has really just been ripe for abuse. It's a big part of the reason why I take issue with New Jersey and how we've been counting bodies throughout this crisis and not getting any answers on how we're counting the bodies in this crisis, which always makes me very, very suspicious. But, that's the thing. Crisis, opportunity, exact same thing. This is written by Yale Halton. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell from Kentucky told Bill Hemmer Reports Wednesday that he has no plans to pass legislation to provide additional federal funding to state and local governments who he said are trying to take advantage of the coronavirus crisis to get help with their ballooning deficits. Yeah, Jersey has been on the brink when it comes to the finances, and a lot of it has to do with, and I've gone in on this several times on this channel, the bureaucracy, nothing but property, not just property taxes, like all tax increases, and so now and then we had Massachusetts Murphy come through and start giving millions upon millions of dollars to like any and everything without little thought of as to the revenue or how the state would be able to balance its budgets. And he's not the first. No. Christie did it. Whitman did it. Corzine did it. What's the McGreevey did it too. Like that's kind of the way that the cookie's been crumbling here in the state for a really long time, and we find ourselves in financial dire straits. Now, what they aim to do, and Murphy was talking about this as well, like, oh well, we're gonna have to lay off people off of the public pensions and out of the public sector. And you know what? Bye. Peace, deuces. You can start with that guy you gave $250,000 a year to work at New Jersey Transit. Okay, like the salaries and the double dipping into the pensions is something that should have been addressed here in the state of New Jersey for a very long time, and it never was. They all just look the other way because of how ingrained the political plantation is here, how deep it goes. And it's not just like, regular public sector. You also have like the teacher unions and all of these other entities that are not helping at all. So I can see Murphy being like, oh yeah, well we can take some of this money from that the feds are going to be kicking out after for the coronavirus and help us budget our pensions. Steve Sweeney came out and said that. And it's some of the weakest shit ever, because bro, no, that's not the federal government's job. The federal government's job was never to look over the state's books. That's why they're separate entities. But either ways, we are not interested in revenue replacement for state governments, McConnell said. We're interested in trying to help them with anything related to the coronavirus, but we are not interested in solving their pension problems and all these other things that they would like for us to finance. Earlier Monday, McConnell announced that he is open to allowing states to declare bankruptcy rather than sending additional federal money to governors who have been imploring Washington for urgent fiscal help. It's not that urgent when these are problems that have been accumulating for generations at this point. And me, I'm all for it. Why? Because I'm getting the hell out of this damn state as soon as November is over, okay? So, November 3rd, done. All right. November 4th, I'm gonna smoke a blunt. Like, hey, this is the first legal blunt in New Jersey, and I'm getting the hell. I know it won't be legal until January 21. I don't care. I'm out. I'm done. My job is finished. I need to go and raise a family, damn it. So yeah, declare bankruptcy. I don't give a shit. I'll be in Utah or someplace. Oh, Utah, a lot of white folks out there. Hey, shoot, they're just trying to kill me too. So it is what it is. We're not gonna. What I'm saying is, we will take a pause. McConnell told Bill Hemmer. We're going to wait at least until May the 4th before we provide assistance to state and local governments who would love for us to borrow money from future generations to make sure they have no revenue losses. Basically, the exact same thing that they've done, which is why all these states that are on the brink of bankruptcy need to fail. They need to. They have to come back. They have to, like, start over. I mean, you're a state, not an actual person. So that's 7 years or however, whatever the financial or litigious nuance is to it. You're gonna have to eat it, states. You really will. Before we make the decision, he continued, we're going to weigh the impact of what we've already added to the national debt and make certain that if we provide additional assistance for state and local governments, it's only for coronavirus related matters. We're not going to let them take advantage of this pandemic to solve a problem that of bad decisions they've made in the past. And I agree. I actually agree with Mitch McConnell. Somebody please check hell. Check the temperature in hell right now. McConnell's comments come one day after the Senate advanced an interim stimulus package to replenish funds in the Paycheck Protection Program and address a handful of other priorities. He initially sought to have the bill include only funding for the PPP, but Democrats held up the legislation until they could extract concessions from the majority leader. Though McConnell ceded to some of their requests, he kept funding for state governments out of the bill, which is expected to see a vote in the House of Representatives on Thursday. So yeah, that's how the Kennedy Center ended up with $25 million. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi rejected accusations that Democrats had delayed the supplemental bill and shifted the blame to McConnell, telling MSNBC Wednesday that Mitch McConnell likes to say we delayed the bill. No, he delayed the bill. Nancy, nobody believes you. No, nobody on this planet believes you, Nancy. Seriously, cut it out. Like, it's so blatant. That's the thing. If it weren't so obvious, I'd be happier. like, I'm like, just put a little elbow grease in the bullshit in me, man. I know I'm getting bullshitted. That's the thing. I know you're BSing me, Nancy. Just put a little effort. That's all we ask. We tried to get relief for the small business package 12 days ago. It was, in fact, delayed by Democratic maneuvers, McConnell responded. But I don't think the public is interested in that. What they are interested in is what we did yesterday. We put $310 billion in to replenish the program for small businesses, which ran out of money 12 days ago. That's a big number. We also added $75 billion for hospitals. We know they are struggling. Are they struggling now, or are you paying them 19 grand per person, 39 grand per ventilator? Maybe the Fed should have tightened up those guidelines and really, paid attention to what they were doing before just sitting there saying, hey, yeah, we'll get everybody 20 grand and 40 grand for these two very specific things, and expect people or businesses or hospitals and the like to not take advantage of that. Right? I mean, none of us are the experts. I'm not an expert, but one of the things I do know is that when people have an opportunity to take advantage of a person or situation, they're gonna tend to jump all over that opportunity. $2.25 billion for corona testing, he went on. We have really developed the kind of Manhattan Project approach that doesn't sound fun at all to testing, because we know that even when the governors begin to open up the economy, as in my view they should begin to do, and when hospitals are allowed once again to do elective surgery, which is the only place they make any money, we can begin to get out of this malaise by bringing the economy back to life. McConnell later rejected Pelosi's claim that only Democrats supported including a provision to increase funding for hospitals in the bill. That's not correct, he said. We are all interested in that. None of that was contentious. What Democrats, really wanted to do was to pass legislation to send money down to states and local governments, and what I said was, we are not going to do that. We will wait and take a pause. We will assess the future potential damage to the country by adding $2.7 billion to the national debt. When Hemmer asked McConnell about the prospect of a Phase 4 bill, McConnell said if one is put forward, it will be when all the members of the Senate are back, which would be at the earliest May 4th. So, yeah, I actually agree with Mitch McConnell. Isn't that nuts? Isn't that nuts? I agree. The states, you're like, come on, man. You can't sit here, go nuts with this entire situation and then be like, yeah, I'm gonna use the corona money to shore up my pension situation. What? No. See, that's the thing. We got too many people who think they're smart, in these positions of power. Like I said, the New Jersey Senate state Senate leader Steve Sweeney was talking about, oh yeah, well, we need help with pensions during this corona thing. Like, hold up. Nah, fam. Nah. The pensions was something completely different. They're underfunded, and they're gonna remain underfunded because you know what? This like the books. I'm pretty sure if like just a straight laced accountant took a look at New Jersey's books, actually audited them, probably shit a brick. Probably was shit a brick. Like, why are you spending $250,000 a year on some guy that pushes papers at New Jersey Transit? And guess what? That's just one. There we have there was this investigation into the Economic Development Authority, where the woman, what's her name, Delgado or something like that, she had like $250,000 salary, and then she would bring all her peoples in making $110,000 a piece. Bro, what? Whoa. And where does all that money come from? Taxpayers. You. Enjoy those property taxes. So, with that being said, we're going to bring this one to an end. All the internet stuff, if you like to toss it a like, dislike, go ahead, do that too. Nobody's scared of you. Sub if you enjoy my fantastic voice and want to get videos like this every single day. Of course, no one wants videos like this, Jay. God, dude. Just being all smart and shit and trying to figure out real problems. No, we want videos about MGTOWs and titties, nigga. What is wrong with you? I really try to sucker you in with the fun stuff, with the MGTOWs and the AIUs, but this is the stuff that really matters and it deserves just a little bit of attention, and I'm glad to give it to it. Jesus, guys, get off my back. Sub if you enjoy my fantastic voice. Share because sharing is caring. YouTube and BitChute and like aren't the biggest fans of your boy over here for very obvious reasons. Bang the bell for notifications and speak. Let me know. What do you guys think in the comments? I don't care about R's. I don't care about D's. I care about, things making sense. And that means SENSE and CENTS. Both sense. Okay? But you may feel differently. And that's what my comment section's for. Until the next one.